before we get stamping, we have to have a little bit of preparation as well. So what you're going to do is take another piece of Whisper White cardstock and you're going to cut that in half, put one piece aside, and with this piece you're going to take it to your paper trimmer and trim 0.5 of a centimetre off the top and 0.5 of a centimetre off one side, and this will become the mat for our card and the piece we're going to stamp our kangaroo on. Now, to get the position for him, you just take the lower layer that we've created earlier and you're going to center that onto your mat with a small border around the edge. You're going to take a pencil and you're going to mark that circle, and now we have a spot where we're going to stamp our kangaroo. Right, we can set that to one side. Now you're going to take your other piece of Whisper White, the other half of this, and you're going to do some more die cutting. And we're going to be using our layering circles dies like we used earlier. This time we're going to be using a bigger die, a circle die, this one. And this one measures 7.5 centimetres in diameter. And you're going to first of all cut a circle from your spare piece of cardstock, and then you're going to come back and cut the smallest circle in the center of that circle. And what you're going to be left with is this ring, and that will be the ring of our snow globe. Okay, so we've got that bit ready. Also, with your larger die, circle die, the 7.51, you're going to cut a piece of acetate, which is here. And that will be our snow globe cover. So you need to set that aside. And then you're going to take one of the circles that we cut earlier out of our layers. You're going to take one of the scallop dies, and this one is 6.5 centimetres from outer edge to outer edge. And you're going to just cut that out of one of those circles so we have a scallop piece. And this will be the piece we stamp our sentiment on, and we layer onto our blue circle which we also cut earlier. So that's those pieces done. Now next, out of that spare piece of Whisper White that you had that you cut your ring from, you'll also need to cut 5 label dies. Label punch. This is called the Everyday Label Punch, and you will need to cut 5 of those from Whisper White and 1 from the Seaside Spray, from the piece we tore off when we were doing our layering. You just need to cut 1 of those out. Once you've got those cut out, then you're going to just take a craft knife and a ruler and you're going to trim them down. So the first one, you're just going to cut one end off. Same with the blue Seaside Spray, you're just going to cut one end off. One of them, the Whisper White, you're going to cut in half, and then the other 3 Whisper White labels you're going to actually trim down like this. So you're going to just cut the lower layer off here, then you're going to cut the top layer, and then you're going to cut the center. Just trim them out, and once we stack them one on top of another, that will create the base for our snow globe. Okay, so before we go any further with our stamping though, I want to colour these pieces that are silver because we're using our beautiful Delica ink, pigment ink, and it does take a little while to dry. So I would suggest that you do that now. So you're going to need your 3 pieces for your base. You're going to need 1 of these halves, and you're going to need your ring as well. Right, so the way we're going to colour these, it's really easy. We're just going to actually apply it directly from the stamp pad. So this will be the embellishment at the top of our bauble. And you simply just lay the cardstock into the stamp pad and press it in there. And that gives it a little bit of texture as well. So it actually looks a little bit like metal, which is very cool. So you just keep dabbing that into the ink until the whole thing's covered. Now we're only using the top part of this cardstock, that's all you'll see, that's why I'm not colouring the bottom part. So there you go, so now you can see that that looks like metal. And you do that for all the rest of these bits. Okay, your pieces should look like this when you're finished, and we can now set those aside to dry. Right, we're ready to start stamping now, and I'm using the Animal Outing stamp set for this card, and I'm going to start with the kangaroo. I've already got him on my block. Now the pieces of cardstock you're going to need are the mat we just placed our circle on, that's for our kangaroo. You're going to need the Whisper White layer that we left blank, and just as a guide we're bringing in our top layer. You're also going to need your scallop die cut circle, and you're going to need your label, your Whisper White label that you trimmed the bottom off. So we'll start with our kangaroo. I'm using Memento Tuxedo black ink for this because we're going to be colouring with our Stampin' Blends, which are alcohol markers. So we'll use this and ink up our kangaroo. Make sure we get plenty of ink on him. And we're going to go ahead and I'm going to stamp him in this circle, being careful to make sure we get his ears, his tail and everything in. And I use his base, his feet, to sort of line up with the bottom to keep him straight. Let's see. Make sure I get his ear in and he's straight. That looks okay. And there you have it, he's in the circle, so that's good. All right, I'm cleaning my stamp on our great little chamois here. Mine's very dirty because I use it all the time, but it's great and quick and easy to use. So the next one we're going to stamp is our little hippo. He's so cute. I love this little guy. There he is. Pop him on our block. Now, pop our kangaroo aside. He's going to be stamped up in this top corner, and I like his feet to kind of be underneath that. I like him a little bit hidden, but you can pop him wherever you want to. So we'll ink him up in our Memento ink. And I'm just going to sit this here as a bit of a guide to give me an idea of where he's going to go. So I think I want him about there. So I'll pop him about there. Oh, so cute, so cute. And then when I pop my layer on, you can see he's just sort of peeping above it, which I really like. Okay, so we've got a little hippo. I'll clean him off. The next little guy we're going to get is our cute little giraffe. And here he is here. And he's going on our tag that we've cut the bottom off. And we'll ink him up also. And we're just going to center him on this tag. I love the animals in this stamp set. They're so cute. Look at him. He's gorgeous. Okay. And now we're going to work on our sentiment. And I'm going to be bringing in another stamp set for that. The sentiment I'm using is out of our Beauty and Joy stamp set. And I'm using this sentiment, A Joyful Christmas to You. It's a nice playful one for a child, I think. So I've already got that on my block. And we're going to be using our scallop here. I'm going to ink this up. And we're going to place it toward the top. Beautiful. Okay, clean that off. And now I'm going to bring in the tree branch from our Animal Outing stamp set. This is so cute too. It has a little frog sitting on it. It's very cute. We're going to stamp that underneath our sentiment. Pick it up. to make sure we got it right way around. Yes. And we're going to stamp it underneath like that. Now the next little stamp I'm using is also out of our animal outing stamp set. It's little one. I'm making this for a little child, for my grandson, and he is little, but if you're making it for an older child, you can leave this bit off if you prefer. You don't have to have it, but I kind of think it's cute. So I'm going to pop little one underneath. And there we have our stamping complete, and now we're ready to colour in.